Yeah. Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Gaur Hari Bol.
আজকে ওনার আবির্ভাব তিথি।
हाँ
গোসাই মহারাজ।
हाँ आविर्भाव they have then Vaishnava in general, they are fully dependent on the will of Krishna. So sometimes though we find difference in their activity and we go to put valuation according to that. But that is not always true, because the underlying principle is this, that whoever is chosen for a particular service by the Lord, and the Lord wants to do whatever thing through him, that is done. So his selection, sometimes selection comes to A, sometimes to B, sometimes to C. So there is a standpoint of looking at them. They are at the disposal of the infinite will, and the infinite will, according to his sweet will, how he likes to utilize whom, in what purpose that becomes successful. That is the absolute consideration. But still we cannot but connect the success with the medium. There is also some value in that. But still we should think about the background, that the divine will, the highest will, that is working through us. So we should not extremely allow us to think according to one's activity to judge them. That is also standard. Gaur Kishore Babaji Maharaj, he did not preach, but his disciple, our Prabhupada, preached in a great magnitude. Loknath Goswami, he did not preach at all. His only disciple, Narottam Prabhu, his preaching is most extensive, we find. So, not only with the amount of work that is shown outside, a Vaishnava should be judged. They are at their disposal, his disposal of the divine will. For whatever service he makes his choice to a particular person, particular servitor, and he can do it. Gadadhara Pandit was a very innocent type. Nityananda preached throughout the length and the breadth with great force. That's Gadadhara Pandit, who is told to be the Radharani's Bhava incarnate, but it's not pushing, not doing any tangible service in the Leela of Mahaprabhu, but our affinity towards Mahaprabhu exceeds that of all. So, not by the magnitude of the external activity we shall go to judge, the position of a Vaishnava, always. Still, that the service we can't ignore, that is a noble thing, a great thing. But ultimately, the key is in the hand of the Lord. যারে জয়ছে না চায় সে তৈছে করে নিত্য এবেলা ঈশ্বর কৃষ্ণ আর সব ভৃত্য যারে জয়ছে না চায় সে তৈছে করে নিত্য He is at the root of everything, and whatever he wills, it is successful. He wants to dance and a particular man in a particular way, particular servitor in a particular way, and he successfully dances like that. Powerful, the key in his hand, specific, general, and universal, and specific dealings. Hare Krishna. Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. In that case, we can save ourselves from pratishtha, the thirst after name and fame. But everything in his hand. If we are fully conscious of the fact, then we cannot feel any pride. That's everything in his hand. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Gaur Hari Bol.
Gadadhara Pandit Maharaj, প্রথম পণ্ডিত বিদ্যানিধি আমাকে দেখে misunderstand করে ফেলেছিলেন।
Oh, we have to take it that it is for our to teach lesson to us, not it was not for him to show to us that we may mislead, to save us from misleading. Lokashikha for Vishnu. Then he thought that I have committed Visnupriya, committed offense. How to get relief? I thought ill of him. Now what's the remedy of that offense? So he thought out in his mind and expressed it to Mukunda that I have committed offense against this great Mahatma. How to get out of that? So I have something in my mind. Those that come to this line, they generally take and they have to accept some preceptor formally. But I am not yet initiated. Not yet I have taken initiation from any Vaishnava. So if I take initiation from him, then of course he cannot but forgive me and my offenses. He won't take any offense from me. If I surrender to his holy feet, then only I can get released. But I have to consult my master for the same once. My master is Gauranga Vishnu. I have to consult with him. So he came to consult. Before that, Mahaprabhu one day suddenly was crying, taking the name of Pundarika. Ba Pundarika, my father Pundarika, where you are? You don't look after me, my father. Suddenly, ordinary people can't understand. Who is that Pundarika? For whom he is wailing so much? My Pandit, wailing for Pundarika, Pundarika. Who is that Pundarika? Within few days that Pundarika came from Chittagong to his Navadvip house. And Mukunda Datta, he was his villager, co-villager. So he knew that. And when the inquiry came, Mukunda Datta answered, the Pundarika is such and such. He is a small, he has got a small state, well-to-do man, and he is a devotee. He is a grihastha. And the Swarup Damodar also knew him from earlier days. They are friends. Then Gadadhara Pandit came to ask to Mahaprabhu. And then such things have happened. And I committed some offense against that great Vaishnava Pundarika Vidyanidhi. And I like, for the necessity of my spiritual good, to take initiation from him. But without consulting you and your consent, I can't do anything. I put it before you what to do. Mahaprabhu, welcome. Yes, it's very good. You must take. Your Guru is he. You must take. And we are told that Pundarika Vidyanidhi was the father of Radharani. Vishnu, his incarnation was Pundarika Vidyanidhi. And so Gadadhara's Gurudev, in any way, Gadadhara took initiation from Pundarika Vidyanidhi. He took. And Mukunda Datta arranged. And Mahaprabhu was very much pleased with that. Pundarika Vidyanidhi.
গঙ্গাকে রাত্রিবেলা দর্শন করতেন।
It's peculiar. Habit was such that he used to see Ganga Devi at night because he could not tolerate when in daytime so many persons they merge in Ganga and there they rubs their head and they're sometimes fighting all these things, polluting the pure Ganges water. They are committing offense against Ganga Devi. He could not tolerate that. So at daytime he did not went to the banks of Ganga, but only at night, and he took some water, put on his head. Our Guru Maharaj also followed the same ideal in the case of Radha Kunda. Many were seen to dive deep into the water of Radha Kunda and sometimes swimming, taking bath, all these things. But he did not allow us to do so. We, as he did took some water and put on her head without touching Radha Kunda by feet. That was, we had seen him. Our Gurudev, our Guru Maharaj, he did not like that anyone will dive, take bath in Radha Kunda. The Radha Kunda water only to be taken from our head. And when he was explaining scriptures in Radha Kunda, on the banks, the common bank, Sampunda and Radha Kunda, there his explanation of the scriptures was arranged. But there he did not explain the higher ecstatic description of Radharani or Krishna, but only Upadeshamrita of Rupa Goswami. Always his tendency was to that. The higher evolution will come automatically. Our business will be to give attention to the lower cause. Savan kirtan jali kara esecha mipoji abar. What are it? What are
nourishment.
For nourishment? Watering by Savan kirtan. And automatically the kripa will grow.
Automatically it will beget.
It will grow. You must not be very eager to examine whether it is growing or not growing. It will grow. Keep confidence in Guru Shastra. And when it will grow, you will be able to know it. You can't remain undisturbed, silent. It is not an abstract thing, it is a reality, concrete reality. So it will inform you sufficiently that has come to visit you. But do your duty, do the duty of the service. Service, the result will automatically come. So Upadeshamrita and ordinary devotion, mind your own lesson, own lesson. Don't allow the concept to come within your heart that you are a student of the higher class. Higher class. Not very much alertness for that. You do your humble duty and see that is done without any defect. Karmanyevadhikarasti ma phalishu kadachana. You concentrate whole of your energy only to do your duty where you are. And the result is in his hand. And when the result will come to you, the result will inquire after you to inform you that you have passed the examination. Your duty is to engage yourself in the study, only not only the curiosity in inquiring whether you have passed the examination or not. The result will come of its own accord to you, but you go on with your duty. Be a good student not only result monger. That should be your ideal of life. Mahaphaleshu kadachana. Karmini vadhikarasti. Service and not the result. All attention towards the immediate duty. That is the real key to success. Gaudhari, Gaudhari, Ujala Ragavatha, Gaudava Bhange.
মহারাজ জ্যোতি মহারাজের এই কাগজটায় দেখলাম ভূশক্তি স্বরূপিণী এবং লীলা শক্তি শ্রী বিষ্ণুপ্রিয়া দেবী। Why not শ্রীমতী? Why only শ্রী? এর ইন্ডিকেশন একটা কি প্রাকৃত বিচার ও অপ্রাকৃত বিচারের ব্যাপার আছে সেই জন্য
ভূশক্তি সাধারণত একটা বৈকুণ্ঠের কনসিডারেশন। বিষ্ণুপ্রিয়া, লক্ষ্মীপ্রিয়া, গৌর নারায়ণ এরা বৈকুণ্ঠ বিচারের অন্তর্গত। তারপরে রাধারানী, it is in the conception of Vaikuntha, but Radharani and the others of Goloka, they are also at the bottom. Gaur Narayan and the Gaur Krishna. Gaur Narayan, who comes with to preach the name, Nam Mahat. And the Gaur Krishna, he has come Savajana Vivajana Prayojana to taste his own divine love. The twofold avatar and avatari. Hari Krishna. Sri Leela.
আর একটা জিনিস কৃষ্ণ উদ্ধবকে বলেছেন যে গুরুকে ঠিক আমার ন্যায় দেখবে, গুরু তো আমাতে অভিন্ন, এই জ্ঞানে গুরু কি করবে। এবং দীক্ষা দুই প্রকার, একটা বৈষ্ণব মত আর একটা তন্ত্র মত। এটা আমি ঠিক একজন আমি জিজ্ঞেস করেছিলাম, আমি ঠিক বলতে পারলাম। বৈষ্ণব মতটা তো বলে দিলাম, যে তন্ত্র মতে যে জিনিসটা আমি ঠিক বোঝাতে পারলাম।
জায়গাটা কোনখানে আছে, where it is mentioned, I want to see that. But in generally speaking, it would be something like this. That, what do you say? Diksha?
Vaishnava and Tantra.
Vaishnava and Tantra mot, দুই প্রকারের দীক্ষা।
And the first part is told already. And the second part is such. And the first part, Krishna told to Uddhava.
হ্যাঁ, কৃষ্ণ বললেন যে গুরুদেব এবং আমাতে অভিন্ন জ্ঞানে যশা দেবে
Parabhakti Gatha Devi Sada long-standing understanding and the question. Ajaryam Mang Vijaniya. In the ultimate estimation, it is I who can give myself, not else, not anyone. I can only give me to others. And I do it through my agents. So agent has they are of different types, the different quality. Through them I want to distribute myself to the disciples, to the regardful persons. And the second part, Tantric Dikha means who has only accepted the aim, but not fit. At present, he is not fit for acceptance. But the object of his life, that is good, that is acceptable. In that process, Tantra Dikha is imparted. And the Vaishnava Dikha, however, we find a list, Shraddha, that is hankering. He wants this. Fit or unfit does not matter. Anywhere, Lulya Matra Mulya Nikalam. His earnest desire is such. Then we try to include them. Harinam, Nama Dikha, Vaishnava Dikha, Nama Dikha. To anyone and everyone, only where we can trace his genuine willingness to get it, the Sukriti. Lolya Matra Mulya Mekalam. That is. And Tantra similar, but that is provincial, and this is universal. Vaishnava Dikha is universal, and Tantric Dikha more or less provincial, to a certain extent. And when he finishes his course, then another installment may come. And Tantra is of different kind, Tamasic, Rajasic, Sattvic.
Oh.
Sattvic Tantra, according to Devarsi Narada, we accept that somewhat to help the cause of Vaishnava Dikha, that is universal. And Tantra may be partial, provincial, relating to any province, any group, to suit their purpose, to help his realization of the object, which may not be universal. That is ordinary Tantra. And the Sattvic Tantra comes to help Vaishnava Dikha. That also in a provincial area, to a certain extent. And the Vaishnava Dikha proper, by name, that is being that has got a special qualification, a special criterion, that his regard must be for Vishnu, Narayan, Krishna in this department, and of universal character. Even crossing mukti. Generally, Tantric Dikha leads us to mukti. Krishna mantra hoite hoy samsar mochon, Krishna naam hoite hoy pai Krishner charan. So, Tantric Dikha, that leads us to salvation, to cross the negative aspect of life. But the positive attainment by Vaishnava Dikha we can hope to get, and Tantric Dikha may help that general arrangement to a certain extent. Krishna mantra hoite hoy samsar mochon, Krishna naam hoite pai Krishner charan. Samsar mochon and the Krishna charan seva prapti is not one and same thing. Vaishnava Dikha gives us entrance into the positive world. Tantric Dikha helps us to get out of the negative side.
কিন্তু ওখানে যে ওরা পরে গুদামিল করে ফেলেছে একটা প্রভিন্সিয়াল স্ট্যাটাস, ওখানে তো এতে কিন্তু মায়াবাদের সৃষ্টি হয়ে যাচ্ছে।
Mayavad, that is, Mayavad is another thing that says that everything is under Maya and only non-differentiative character, that is the real stage of liberation. Liberation means that knower, known and the knowing, seer, sin and seeing comes to one point. Subject, object and the relation between them, when it is resolved in one point, nothing remains. Then bhakti, Bhagavan, bhakta, they are this side, the sattva gun, not crossing the liberation area. All that is conceived to be good, sattva gun, all in this side of within Maya, sattva gun. And with liberation, everything stops to stand, comes to stand still. That is their idea. Mayavad means. That is a spiritual zero, sushupti, samadhi, cessation of all movement, a static condition. That is the basis of whole creation. And the creation means it is negative, cannot be any positive value.
আর ecstatic?
Ecstatic,
To follow the transcendental.
that is just like sound sleep, cessation of affliction. Ecstasy has got this value, the cessation of affliction, misery, that is ecstasy. A particular type of ecstasy. ঢাকের বাদ্যি চুপ করলেই মিষ্টি. The drum beating when stopped, peaceful silence. That silence is peace, not any positive peace. The negative act. Bhagavan is Maya, his Dham, his Leela, his familia, everything is Maya. Coming in whose connection we get out of Maya, he is in Maya itself. That is suicidal argument. One coming in his touch, they can cross the Maya. Maya metang tarantiti, mami bhuji prabudhanti, Maya metang tarantiti. But he himself is Maya, by whose name, by whose grace we can cross the Maya. He is in Maya. A very natural argument. He is in Maya.
Maharaj, you've often described what Nityananda Prabhu's part is in helping us in devotion.
What do you say?
You've described how Nityananda Prabhu helps us in devotional practice. So how does Advaita Prabhu...
I don't follow.
Nityananda Prabhu,
Yes,
he helps us in devotion.
yes,
You have described many times.
yes.
So what is Advaita Prabhu? What is his help there?
Advaita Prabhu's help is in the lower strata. Nityananda Prabhu, as Advaita Prabhu lives, Nityananda Prabhu begins. We may think in a general way like that. Advaita Prabhu sometimes explains Yoga Vasishtha, other scriptures, and sometimes he invites Mahaprabhu, can't tolerate the troubles and the pains of the world in this, of the jiva and the misery, can't tolerate, and he tried to connect with the transcendental, the supernatural. Nityananda Prabhu is above that, and he helps. In the beginning, his help is generally from Vaikuntha upward, and Advaita Gurus may help maybe to, in general, to Shivaloka, Bhakta Shivaloka, Sadasi. Mahavishnu and the Sadasi, one and the same, from different angle of vision, and the Advaita Prabhu's position is there. Shiv, Mahadev as a devotee. That is the position of Advaita Prabhu. And Nityananda Prabhu's domain is farther up from Vaikuntha. It can even pass his followers to upward, to Goloka. Both sides, as Baladev in Vrindavan and Nityananda as Navadvip, the two compartments of Goloka. That is only Raga Bhakti, the daya of Raga Bhakti, spontaneous service, and higher and inner and more valuable service. Nityananda Prabhu can give us. Advaita Prabhu invites to Gauranga and connects with the world. And Nityananda can give Gauranga.
একই দেহ বলছে যে অদ্বৈত প্রভু নিত্যানন্দ প্রভু আসলে দুই ভাগ হয়েছে। মানে
And what? Lower half and the higher half. Everything is one Advaigan. Advaita Prabhu has sprung up from Nityananda. And they are all coming up from Baladev, Narayana, the Mahavishnu. Mahavishnu is dedicated power of Baladev, Sankarshan.
আচ্ছা, প্রয়োগদিশায়ী উনি তো কারণাবদিশায়ী মহাবিষ্ণু, অদ্বৈত আচার্য প্রভু। আর প্রয়োগদিশায়ী যিনি মূল সংকর্ষণ,
তিনি তার সেকেন্ড এডিশন, প্রয়োগদিশায়ী, কারণাবদিশায়ী, গর্ভদশায়ী আর ক্ষীরোদশায়ী, অংশী, অংশাংশী ভাবে রয়েছে। একজন at the bottom of the whole creation, and the next delegation at the bottom of full one Brahmanda, and the third development at the heart of every jiva. The Antarjami, the all-permeating universal existence is one, every jiva, every brahmanda, and the whole creation. Three divisions. Just as commissioner, then DM, and SDO. আর রাজ্যপাল আর তারপরে তার আন্ডারে যেমন তার পার্টস সব ব্রাঞ্চেস so many, and the district magistrate and so many branches in district and Mahakuma subdivision. This way, a branch of the branch, and then the trunk is there. Hare Krishna, Gaur Hari Gaur, Gaur Hari Gaur, Gaur Hari Gaur.
তো মহারাজ এই যে আমরা তো বলেছি যে প্রদত্ত বস্তু না প্রাপ্ত বস্তু থেকে আরম্ভ করে সব কিছুই গুরুকে অর্পণ করি।
কি বস্তু হচ্ছে আরম্ভ করে?
হ্যাঁ, মানে প্রাপ্য বস্তু যা কিছু সম্পদ জীবে সবই স্পিরিচুয়াল মাস্টারের হাতে দেওয়া উচিত গুরু সেবা এবং ভগবত সেবার জন্য। গেলে যেই মুহূর্তে আমরা দীক্ষিত হলাম, আশ্রয় গ্রহণ করলাম, আমাদের নিজস্ব কোনো কর্তৃত্ব কিছুই থাকা উচিত নয়, নিজের কোনো অভিমানী সেরকম থাকা উচিত নয়। যতক্ষণ আছে ততক্ষণই সেটা নিজেকে অপরাধী মনে হচ্ছে।
To surrender, it is not a deep transaction. The transaction, the ideal of transaction should be as much as possible of that type. Surrender means. But practically it is not possible or equal in all cases. So according to their position, they attempt to surrender. Surrender means surrender with their own position. Not only that, but he comes to realize that the position is a false position.
Yes.
It is a false position. It does not belong to me. I am not master of anything, even not of myself. So in the lower stage, to surrender means to give everything. Sarvasvam Guruve Dajjat. Sarvasvam Guruve Dajjat. To get rid of their unholy connection. Give it to Gurudev so that it may not disturb you, suggesting you always that you are my master, leading you, by misleading you. So think that everything belongs to my Gurudev or belongs to the God. And his delegation, my Gurudev, his representation, my Gurudev, everything belongs to him. I am not master of anything. That sort of knowledge he should imbibe, and that will be helpful in his spiritual progress in the real sense.
তাহলে চিন্তাধারাটা থাকলেও চলবে।
কি চিন্তাধারা?
ওই যে একটা যে আমার কোনো অভিমান বা আমার নিজস্ব স্বাতন্ত্র বলতে থাকা উচিত নয়।
Children, that is reality. We have to realize the fact. We want the truth and to get out of false notion. And the very process needs it. If diksa is proper, then these are the parts of that divine knowledge, that nothing belongs to me, not only that, everything belongs to him, even including me. That is the real conception of diksa. The standard diksa is like that. I belong to him and everything belongs to him. I am his servant. These are the object of his service. This is reality. And we are suffering under non-reality, imaginary well, we are living in a fool's paradise. The fool's paradise that should be done away with. And real paradise we shall try to enter into.
আমরা এই যে কনফার্ম স্টেজে বিশেষত যারা গৃহী লোক আমাদের মনে দুঃখের কারণ এটা যে আমরা বুঝেও জ্ঞান প্রাপ্তির মতো করতে পারছি না। এই ফ্যামিলি মেম্বার তারা এসে দেওয়াতে
জাতশ্রদ্ধ মৎকথাসু
লাগছে খুব।
জাতশ্রদ্ধ মৎকথাসু নির্বিঘ্ন সর্বকর্মসু বেদ দুঃখাত্মকান কামান পরিত্যাগী পনিশ্বর. When we have a peep into the characteristic of the absolute environment, reality, yatasaddha matkaru, a little regard of the truth. Nirbhinna sarvakarmasu, does not relish as previously he did with the paraphernalia. Cannot relish. Nirbhinna sarvakarmasu, and don't feel encouragement to meet with the duties, to face the duties that are relating to this bhogo, this world of enjoyment, is indifferent. Because he had got a certain test of the higher truth, so he has got no charm, indifferent. Sarvakarma, veda dukkhatmakam kamam parityagi panishara. He knows it, that the connection with the present enjoying mood, it brings a painful reaction. Dukkha angst. It has got its reaction. He can realize, but he can't leave it, cut up the connection completely in the stage of sadhana. But still no other alternative. His affinity towards the positive truth, that should be increased more and more, and gradually these affinity for the paraphernalia and the obligation all will disappear. Tibrena bhakti yogena jajatu ma sakrit mune. Asakrit, repeatedly, not successful. Still he can't let the idea. Again he will attempt. Not successful. Again he will attempt. Because the reaction he is feeling from outside and his heart aching, that I am repeatedly defeated by these enemies around me. And the fire is there, and the fire is not to be quenched. It is a spark of eternal truth. So fight will continue, and one day will come when the enemies that surrounded him, they will have to retire once for all. Tibrena bhakti yogena jajatu ma sakrit mune, asakrit mune. Asakrit mune, repeatedly attempting. Tibrena bhakti yogena jajatu ma sakrit mune. Kama hridajya nasyanti sarve mai hridisthiti. One day he will find that I have gradually captured his whole heart, and the others retired forever, not present to trouble him in his mental circle. Hridajya, they are like mushrooms. They গজানোকে কি বলে? Like mushrooms, they came out from the mental soil. Vidajya nashanti, they have all gone, died.
Productivity.
Vidajya nashanti, sarve mai vidhisthiti, they have all gone away, and I am only in his heart. He is only in my connection. Is full of my conception. Sarve mai vidhisthiti. Our Guru Maharaj told once one disciple, a man who was an UP man, Kundan Lal, a caste who came from a respectable family of Agra. His eldest brother was a notable advocate, and the second brother was advisor to Governor Annalal. But they are all more or less some sort of devotee of Mahaprabhu. And the third brother, Kundan Lal, he was in connection of Manchester Guardian Patrika in London, 20 years as assistant editor. And when student, he went to study in Germany during the first Great War of Kaiser. And he, at that time, played the part of a CID there, he told. That gentleman, when he came to take Harinam from our Guru Maharaj, I took him. Guru Maharaj was at Puri. From Calcutta, I took him to Puri. Guru Maharaj told, he took Harinam, and at that time he told him in Harikatha that Krishna should be allowed to land, just as an army is landed by the navy, the army carried, and they are landed, and then fight begins, and then capture the country, Vini Visi, Julius Caesar, as he used to do. So we are to allow Krishna to land in our heart. Then the fight will begin. The Krishna conception, what is the proposal of Krishna consciousness, and what others are giving their assurances from time immemorial. I shall give you this, I shall give you that, I shall give you such. And the Krishna consciousness will enter and say, my promise is this. The whole thing is mine, you are all trespassers. The fight will begin, and they are sure to withdraw. And the Krishna consciousness will capture the whole heart. The process is this. Anyhow to land the army. The Krishna consciousness only to land. See, to be allowed to land. Anyhow from a sadhu, real Krishna consciousness, a bit of Krishna consciousness should enter through the ear into heart. And he will make the whole thing required and what is necessary in future. Anyhow, a point of regard of Krishna consciousness. One who has imbibed, his life is ensured today or tomorrow. Yes, he is a thief. One gentleman told that is our solace, that he is a thief. He is a thief. We have protected, erected high walls on all sides that Krishna may not enter, Krishna consciousness. But he is a thief. Anyhow, he will The thief requires no invitation, no preparation for his welcoming. He will enter anyhow for his own interest. And that is our consolation, that he is a thief. The Maya has erected high walls on all sides, very strong, bullets, all these things for protection. But Krishna consciousness, nothing is sufficient for him. He is a thief, he will stealthily he will enter one day. So jata shraddha mat kathashu nirvinna sarva karmasu veda dukkhatman kaman parityagi panishara. Understands that these are my enemies, but hopeless. The enemies within my house. My own persons are my enemies. Hopeless, disappointed. But Krishna consciousness not to leave him anyway. He will continue. And in course of time, he will conquer. And the others, however closely related, in however private and well-protected room in our heart they may stay, they will have to go. Take leave from every corner of my heart. Krishna will conquer and capture the whole thing. It is such. Kama hridajya. They are foreign things. They are only mushrooms. Like mushrooms, they are come out. They have not permanent stability or root. Rooted to the soil. They are like so many শ্যাওলাকে কি বলে ভাসে এগুলো শ্যাওলা জলের উপরে ভাসে শ্যাওলা শৈবাল moss. Whatever we have stored in our heart, we think that it is very very near, that is already mixed with us, our own existence. It is everything undesirable and mixed with our own existence. But when Krishna consciousness will enter, they will all float like mushrooms and they will vanish. They will have to vanish. After they are mushrooms, they are like moss. No putting, no connection with the soil. Only it is floating. It will be found. As all interests are floating. Not so much depth, not in and out of our whole existence. Only Krishna consciousness has got its existence everywhere, in all parts of my existence and also outside. So these mushrooms and the mosses, they will have to vanish one day. বলা আছে প্রবিষ্ট কর্ণরন্ধ্রেণ সানাং ভার সরূরুহং ধুনতি সমলং কৃষ্ণ শরীরস্য যথা শরৎ. When Krishna enters through the ear, into the heart, enters into the heart, প্রবিষ্ট কর্ণরন্ধ্রেণ সানাং ভাব সরূরুহং. It captures the lotus of our heart. Sanam dhunoti shamalam Krishna. Then it will gradually makes to disappear all the doubts of our heart. Sharirasya jatha swarat. Just as when the autumn season comes in, all the waters everywhere becomes pure. With the approach of the autumn, In rainy season, the whole water everywhere is impure. But when the advancement of the autumn season, the whole water becomes pure, purified, swachha, normal, darkless. So also, when Krishna enters, all the dust gradually
dispelled.
dispelled. Hrilasya jatha sarat. Impurities gradually die out, vanishes, and the Krishna consciousness. Everything is mine. You are also mine. That is.
এই প্রসঙ্গে আরেকটা কথা বলা আছে যে সাধুদের কথায় অন্তরের যে ডার্কনেস ডিসপেলড হয়, যেমন দিবায় সূর্য উদয়ে বাইরের অন্ধকার দূরীভূত হয়, আর সাধুদের কথায় হৃদয়ে অন্ধকার দূরীভূত হয়। তখনই কৃষ্ণের এন্ট্রেন্সের পক্ষে সুবিধা হয়। সাধুদের তো কৃষ্ণ কনসাসনেস আলোচনা করে
That is Krishna Katha through them. Sadhu, this carries the news of Krishna. But in the beginning, in the stage works something like, and then gradually he becomes more and more clear. The first action begins through his agency. There are also different groups of his agents. First Sukriti, then Shraddha, then Sadhu Sangha, then Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, Nishtha Ruchi, all these things follow. That stage by stage the progress is stressed in that way. এখানে কে? Who is here?
Bhakta Jeff.
Huh?
Bhakta Jeff.
Hare Krishna. Huh?
Maharaj,
Yes,
sometimes you give another explanation
yes.
about the soil in the heart. The soil in the heart,
Yes.
and then the bij of bhakti which is planted in the soil. So sometimes you describe the soil as being faith.
In different ways, the same thing, in different ways it has been taught and dealt with. And you have the seed, or in one person or in the middle anyhow. The connection, the divine connection is within suppressed, and some foreign power also of the same divinity will come. Will come and ache that I am there at the bottom, and you are like mushroom or you are like moss. You are floating. You have come and you have to go. But I am there, sometimes suppressed, and again I have come to capture the whole thing. It is my own property. But your position is only temporary. So you have to get out from here. Your unlawful position. So you must get out. Gaur Hari Bol. Yes.
দেখা করতে এসছেন, আগে এসছিলেন।
আচ্ছা, তোকে কৃষ্ণকে বলো পাথর টাথর দিয়ে দিতে,
আচ্ছা,
বুঝলে?
হ্যাঁ, এই প্রণাম করছি।
এই তো আবার তো তোমাকে যে যাবে তার সঙ্গে যোগ করতে হবে।
হ্যাঁ, আমি কালকে ওনারা পৌঁছাবো না, আমার পৌঁছাবো।
আচ্ছা
খালি ওই বাড়িতে একটু অসুবিধার জন্য একবার খোঁজ নিয়ে দেওয়ার জন্য যাই।
আচ্ছা আচ্ছা। একটু প্রসাদ থাকে তো দিতে বলো ছেলেপিলের জন্য।
একটা জিনিস, ভক্তিমূর্তি যখন পুরীতে থাকতেন তখন তো প্রভুপাদের জন্ম হয়। তিনি পুরী স্টেটের সুপারিনটেন্ডেন্ট ছিলেন তো না?
ছিলেন।
জগন্নাথ স্টেটের নিশ্চয়ই রোজ
মন্দিরেও
মহাপ্রসাদ
ছিলেন।
ছাড়া কিছুই খেতেন না তিনি। এটা আমার ধারণা আর কি।
হ্যাঁ,
ওনার মতো মহাপুরুষ নিশ্চয়ই জগন্নাথের মহাপ্রসাদ ছাড়া অন্য কিছুই খেতেন না তিনি। এবং তারই ফলস্বরূপ আমরা প্রভুপাদের মতো মহাপুরুষ বা
হ্যাঁ। মহাপ্রসাদ মন্দির থেকে নিয়ে গিয়ে রোজ খেতেন, বাড়িতে রান্না হলেও মহাপ্রসাদ না,
হ্যাঁ ভোগ দিয়ে
ভোগ দিয়ে খাবেন। গাড়ির প্রসাদ হইতেন।
আমাদের নারায়ণী দেবী যেমন তিনি মহাপ্রভুর উচ্ছিষ্ট রোজ খেতেন, তার ফলস্বরূপ আমরা বৃন্দাবন দাস ঠাকুর ব্যাসবদারকে পেয়েছিলাম। মহাপ্রসাদের গুণ সম্বন্ধে আমি বলছি আর কি। আর অ্যাকশন, কত রকম অ্যাক্টিভিটিস, এক তো জিহ্বা জয়, প্রপঞ্চ জয়, ইন্দ্রিয় জয়, এটার ফল যে কত সুদূর প্রসারী সেটা আমি বলতে চাইছি। আর প্রভুপাদও ঠিক এরকম কিং সিজনে আবির্ভূত হয়েছিলেন, মহাপ্রভুও ঠিক ওই স্প্রিং সিজনে আবির্ভূত হয়েছিলেন। তার বিলাভড ডিভোটিকে তিনি সেই মনোরম চার্মিং প্লেজেন্ট যে ক্লাইমেট বা অ্যাটমসফিয়ার, সেই সময় প্লেজেন্ট সিজনে তিনি পাঠিয়েছিলেন।
তাতে কি বলছেন?
হ্যাঁ,
কি বলছেন তাতে?
আমি বলছি যে
আমার
একটা আছে তো মহাপ্রভু যখন
পদ্য,
আছে,
একটা পদ্য আছে বা কি একটা আর্টিকেল আছে আমার গৌরীতে,
হ্যাঁ
যে মহাপ্রভু he chose his time of advent, and the season is a very good one, and also Purnima night, very good thing he chose for himself. And whereas he sent Gadadhara Pandit in the hot summer and also in the new moon. Gadadhara Pandit came out and also disappeared in summer season and the new moon, Amavasya, so empty. He took the fullest advantage from Gadadhar and sent him to the almost negative position. And the Gadadhara Pandit gave it voluntarily to him. His very heart was drawn in by Mahaprabhu, Bhava, Kanti. And he just like a shadow. Whole of his wealth has been snatched by Mahaprabhu. And the Gadadhara Pandit as a shadow running after him. As if his heart has been stolen. His wealth, all his wealth is stolen by a person, and he is quite dependent on him. I can't say. He is like a shadow moving after him. This is the type of Gadadhara Pandit. Radha Bhavaddhuti Shugolitang. Both, the whole wealth of Radharani's feeling, sentiment, mood, and even her laughter was taken by Krishna. And Radharani voluntarily gave all these things. I can't allow you to roll on the earth with your this body, come in connection, but I shall circumvent. Anyhow, that emptiness we find in Gadadhara Pandit, and like a thief, he is running after Mahaprabhu as his shadow. But he is not poor, he is not poor. It is his wealth that has given Mahaprabhu such a dignified position. that even some things superior to Krishna himself, the magnanimous Krishna. Magnanimous Krishna, the public Krishna, the public deliverer Krishna, at least for our interest. We are fallen souls. When Krishna has come with a general relief work to us, we cannot but think that he is our very greater Krishna. So, Gadadhara Pandit's contribution is that in the high summer and also in the dark night, Gadadhara Pandit appeared here. But that does not mean that we shall underestimate him. So, what is what? We have to inquire and understand and realize from all standpoints. Otherwise,
Not Swanata. Swanata.
so your tiffin is ready. I dissolve here. Visnupriya Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada ki jai. Shivadeshi Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj ki jai. Shri Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Jai Krishna Maharaj, Maharaj Maharaj ki jai. Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Gaur Hari Gaur. Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Gaur Hari Gaur. Gaur Hari Gaur. Gaur Hari Gaur. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare
Chaitanya Chandra and I may go to North Bengal for about 1 week.
Yes,
Yes, to Chaitanya Chandra.
North Bengal.
Yes, maybe Durgapur. Maybe tonight. Possible.
How many days?
1 week, 10 days. He should be here in a few days. Yes. He said he will come in a few days to stay.
Okay.
Is there more continue?
Yeah. Take the picture face. Maharaj, look at us once. Look at us once.
The light.
ना ना जेल को पूरा दिखा दो. Why are you saying? Taking picture.